Hey everybody, it's the man they call Dave and AJ Strange Brew. We're going to talk about wrestling and god damn, we need some energy for this. AJ, tell us what we got.
Well, you say that we've got fans and I know they're working hard, so they're going to need energy, but when they get energy, they want jitterless energy, and nothing's going to jack you up without the jitters like Dubby. If you get an opportunity, check out all of their merchandise. They got the coolest shakers. They've got so many different flavors, and it literally will keep you going all night long. It is Dubby. Check them out when you go to their site. Put in fans working, and we're going to give you 10% off on any order that you put in. And then you could be as jacked up as me and the man they call Dave. Dave, speaking of being jacked up, what do you got for us this week?
10%, baby. Check it out. I have selected a few draft picks that I'm interested in that I want your opinion on. Cody Rhodes is going to Raw. Cody Rhodes will be in the world title situation. Roman Reigns is going to keep doing what he did. Let's take a look at, I thought, some of the more interesting picks, and we're not sure what might happen. Grayson Waller.
Well, the great thing...
Grayson Waller's coming to SmackDown.
Well, speaking of guys that are high energy, I like Grayson Waller. I know you're a fan also. I think he's got great potential as that swarmy heel. They just need to hone him. They need to actually get him in there and actually hone what he's going after, and I think he's got great potential.
I think he's one of the guys that they could strap a rocket to. I could see him in the U.S. title mix because Gunther's going to Raw, and we'll talk about that in a bit too. So that leaves Theory. Now, we know they've been building up champions, but they haven't really built up the U.S. championship. Like Austin Theory's starting to get a rub, but not to the point where I'd be surprised to see someone take this title off of him. I think Waller's the
Wait a minute, you don't see that? You don't think that win against John Cena was a big rub?
I think he's getting the rub, but I don't think it's one of those situations where I feel like Theory's going to not lose his title for the next year. That's what I'm
The funny thing is, if I had told you at the beginning of the year Austin Theory was going to have wins against Bobby Lashley, John Cena, that he was going to hold on to the U.S. title, you would think, wow, those are a lot of big things to happen to Austin Theory. But somehow these things have managed to happen, and we still aren't looking at Austin Theory as being one of those top-tier guys.
No, there's something just missing a little bit, it seems like, with Austin Theory. I like
Which is incredible, because he's got a personality, he's got a body, he can work in the ring, but there just seems to be that disconnect with him.
This is what I thought was interesting. It's the only free agent I'm going to talk about. Omos. And here's why. Lesnar, he's always running that free agent role, so nothing new there. Most of the other free agents look like guys we would expect to maybe get beat up, other than maybe Von Wagner. Maybe we'll do something with him. But
I think the reason why most of them are free agents is because they can be released at any time and nobody would know.
But they've managed to kind of keep Omos like pushed a little bit. I'm kind of wondering, do you think we're going to start to double down and really push Omos as a special attraction?
Or are they going to treat him like Andre the Giant and use him as that special attraction so he can show up when he wants to, but they don't have to use him all the time because he's not on specific rosters. So you cannot have him on for like, say, 4 weeks, and then he all of a sudden comes down and attacks somebody, and it's a big deal.
Excited to see AJ Styles and the OC on SmackDown because it's great to see AJ back. Gunther on Raw, great new challengers probably for Gunther over there. Ripley, now that she's on Raw and Becky Lynch has stayed on Raw, I think that's interesting. But also really interesting, as I'm throwing his last name at you, Trish Stratus, who I looked at as kind of like a special attraction, not back full time, but she was drafted to Raw.
Trish Stratus, I don't know if you've been watching her Instagram, Twitter, or the other things that she does. She's making it sound like this is one more run. What was the point of drafting people to both brands and then saying it's the Raw belt if you're going to have SmackDown have people actually going against each other for a right to actually go for this title? To me, this people from SmackDown should not have any chance at this title whatsoever.
Who's on SmackDown's got a shot at? Almost a free agent.
There's going to be 3 people wrestling on SmackDown that are going to go up against the winner. They're going to have 2 triple threats on SmackDown. Those 2 face each other at the end of the show, and then one person from that show faces one person from Raw who does the same thing. Why does SmackDown have people that are even in this tournament?
Yeah, I'd imagine you're going to have to explain that if they win. They're going to get drafted over.
But to me, if it's a Raw championship, it negates everything that we just talked about. With
I do think it is also interesting that Alba Fire and Issa Dawn are the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. They have not been stripped of that title, and they're coming to SmackDown.
Well, that didn't even make any sense, this match on Tuesday. They had Alba Fire and Issa Dawn versus Casey Cantero and
Kaden Carter.
But it's one of those things where everybody's been drafted. Why do you not have somebody who's actually staying on NXT be going for those tag titles and dropping the titles to them.
No, I know. It doesn't make. That's why I'm wondering if those titles are coming to the main roster.
I mean, you had the women's championship get dropped because obviously she's injured and she can't defend the belt. So she leaves the belt there, and then everybody comes in. They've announced what they're going to do for it. Are you just saying the tag titles don't matter?
Well, I mean, Indy Hartwell is injured, so you have.
She's very injured. We saw that in the match, even though they didn't say anything about it at the moment. If you watch back that match, you can see her ankle bend in a way that it's not supposed to bend.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm wondering if these tag titles are actually like maybe they're going to keep the women's tag champions on separate brands because Raquel and Liv are on Raw.
Yeah, so maybe they'll turn it into SmackDown tag team titles.
I mean, it's possible.
Just NXT won't have tag titles anymore.
Right. And I mean, it's interesting because the tag titles, I would say, is one of those things because of the depth of the roster, you would actually wish they were floating still.